Hello, Huskies. How are you all doing? Thank you, my dear friend, which I have the honor to call President Marek. We have been friends for a long time. And she's a phenomenal leader that you're all so fortunate to have leading this amazing university, Huskies. So you should first thank her for the great environment that she has provided you, the nurturing environment, and I know her heart even more than her mind. She's one of the finest persons that you can meet. And so thank you, President Marek, for your leadership. Marshall Siegel, Dean Shore, and my dear other friend, Vice President Alpe, I'm so thrilled to be here. And it is just an honor, the greatest honor, to be recognized in this manner. Now, having said all of that, which are all nice pleasantries, I don't believe that anybody deserves any degree until they pass my quiz. I have attended many commencements, including 4 of my own. And I think about who was the commencement speaker, what did they say? I cannot remember anything. Nada. I said, how do I change that? By making sure that the UConn graduates today will hopefully remember not the messenger, but at least the message. And so that they don't feel, my God, when is he going to be done? I can get my degree and flip my hat and then get my degree and go enjoy with my family. But folks, too bad. You have one last quiz, and I told President Marek, until you pass this quiz, you don't get the degree. So therefore, pay attention. And because it is UC, I said, how about centering it around C's? I'm giving you a hint. There are 10 C's that I'm going to talk about in the 10 or less minutes that I have. And I'm going to quiz you on the 10 C's. So if you're planning to doze off or check your phones, beware. You may not get your degree. So beware and pay attention. The first C, folks, is commencement. That's why we are here. Remember, it could have been called a different C, called conclusion. It was not called conclusion because it is not the conclusion of anything. It is the commencement of your journey into the future with the unbelievable skill sets, mindsets, and all that this institution has provided for you, and all that your parents, your friends, your family, and the supporting environment has provided for you over the years. You are here today, and you're commencing your journey, and your learning never stops. This is a lifelong learning, remember that. And that's why it's called the commencement of the lifelong learning pursuit. Therefore, if you thought that you're going to hang your hats, literally and figuratively, clearly not. You've got a long way to go. There is no retirement. Retire from what? People ask me, are you going to retire? I say, retire from what? I'm having so much fun. Why would I retire? So commencement is the first C. But where does this all start for all of us? It started for all of us because of this C, which is curiosity. I can tell you about my curiosity. As an 8-year-old boy in India growing up, it was the Apollo 11 time. Now you can age me very well. My dad took me to the US consulate. And America did an amazing thing. It sent a mobile exhibit of the rocks that were brought back from the moon by the Apollo 11 astronauts. And yes, I went and stood in a long line. For those of you who are from India, standing in front of the consulate, you can relate to this. And then I saw these rocks. And yes, they were rocks. But there was something different about these rocks. This took unbelievable ingenuity, unbelievable commitment to wanting to go up there and not leave people up there, but bring them back with things like the amazing content of the rock, and then having it on display for this 8-year-old boy to get excited. Like many folks in my generation who got excited by the space program and said, I too want to be a student of science and engineering and technology and innovation. Each one of you, therefore, can relate to this curiosity, that spirit of curiosity that was ignited in you. I call it the STEM spark. It doesn't have to be STEM. It can be STEAM, it can be anything, but it is a spark. A spark that then essentially led you to this amazing journey today to achieve this amazing thing that you have achieved so far. But remember, never lose this curiosity. Be curious about everything, every day, everywhere, because that is what is going to keep you excited, happy, and achieve amazing things into your future. Never lose this curiosity. This is the commencement of curiosity. Curiosity leads to the next C, which is creativity. Imagine look at the amazing discoveries and inventions and innovations. You will find always, whether it is Einstein, always Ben Franklin, whether it is anyone that you can relate to, you will always find that their curiosity led them to be creative people. So therefore, you can be rest assured, as long as you remain curious, you will be creative. You will be creative and you will do amazing things that you can accomplish for the benefit of humanity, society, and of course your family and yourself, and a whole lot more. So now, this is the first midterm quiz. How are we doing with the 3 C's? Yes? Commencement? Come on. Did you have dinner? Okay, commencement? Curiosity? Creativity. Okay, you passed the first midterm. Remember, when you want to actually be creative, oftentimes there is this feeling that I can be creative because I'm this great physicist, or a chemist, or an artist, or a humanist. But oftentimes, grand challenge problems, whether it is climate change, whether it is elimination of poverty, whatever that might be, that grand challenge that you are engaged in, or you are excited by, or you're curious that you want to be part of solving that grand challenge problem. That requires not just your expertise, it requires the next C, convergence of multiple expertise that comes together. For example, solving the climate challenge is not just an engineering problem alone, or a science problem alone, or a social behavioral problem alone, or an economics problem alone, or a policy problem alone. It's all of the above and a lot more coming together in order that you might be able to solve the problem in a holistic way. So make sure that even though you might be an expert in a discipline or two, that you are always respectful, eager, and anxious to engage with every other discipline. Be respectful of the contributions of every discipline: artists, humanists, social scientists. All of them are important if you really are interested in solving a problem. It is not just only your technical abilities. Now, when you try to have this convergence, therefore, of ideas, you obviously need to collaborate. That's the next C. The most important thing that you will learn, if not already, not just taking assignments of somebody else and collaborating with them and making it your assignment. I hope not. The teamwork is the most important asset that you can have, because working in a team and not always wanting to lead all the time, to be a leader where appropriate, but also to be a good follower. As you might have heard, good leaders are also good followers. To have this collaborative mindset that you can then achieve amazing things by bringing multiple disciplinary inspirations with the collaborations that comes along with that. That makes you be part of being proud of solving problems for humanity and society. Never give that up. Don't sit in your own little cubicle and do this amazing work and think that's the end of it all. It's important, it is necessary, but it is not sufficient. And that leads me to the next C. That is the 6th C. The only constant is change. This is where I find many of my students sometimes will falter. And I will tell them, this is not the time to give up. Change is the only constant. Adapt yourself. Be resilient. In fact, not just that, thrive because of change. You should welcome change because change makes you grow. The uncertainty makes you flourish. The uncertainty makes you want to learn more, eager to do more, achieve more, and therefore welcome change and not be afraid of change. And by the way, don't take yourself seriously. This is serious business, but you don't have to be serious because of serious business. In fact, oftentimes, the fact that you're taking on a serious challenge, the more you endow yourself with humor, with ease, you will find that you're even dealing with the seriousness with a lot more easy way of delivering the outcomes. So the only constant is change. Change is your next C, which is the 6th C. Second midterm. Commencement. Second midterm. This is not a faculty member who says, just study only for the next segment. This is a faculty member who holds accountable from day one. So commencement. Creativity. Convergence. Yes, collaboration. And change. How do we face change? You face change because you have courage. Courage is a very important asset that you need to endow yourself with. There'll be a lot of people who will question you. There's a lot of people who will question your motives, they question the way you do things. All of that, believe me, of late I've seen a lot of that in full action for me. But never allow that to let you down or be, losing your spirit. Courage is the way that you make sure you face all challenges. The other C, by the way, all challenges. Endow yourself with the courage. The courage that I can accomplish these things and I will do it fearlessly because I stand for principle. I stand for values. I stand for principles. I stand for those things that I want to make sure that I leave this place better than I found it. And I am going to be committed by God. I am going to do the right thing. Stand for principle, stand for values, and that requires courage. Even under very difficult situations, that's what is the most important thing to do. And now, to the next C. In order to do all of this, as I said, you need the can-do spirit. You can have a lot of these qualities, the first 7 qualities. You can have all of that. I've seen students who have all these qualities, but they would always struggle with the can-do spirit. I can get this done. I'm sure you've faced these moments. Oh my God, this paper got rejected. They gave me this many corrections to make. They questioned my fundamental assumption. How am I going to get this published in the premier journal that I really want my paper to be published in? You stood that challenge and said, I can do this. I can get it done. Never lose that spirit, because that spirit is what is going to propel you, in addition to all the attributes that we talked about, to doing amazing things in life. The can-do spirit. And now to the 9th one, if you're keeping tab. And I need some water. I'm letting you revise your 9 T's. I mean the 8. If I came to this graduation, or any one of us who spoke before me, if he said, welcome all, I hope you're all having a good day. I'm sure you're all happy. Your parents are here. Imagine that versus this is what is called communication. I have found a lot of amazing people with amazing ideas, with amazing intellect, not having been able to achieve their fullest because they have not been able to communicate how they can do something, what they can accomplish. Just because they are not able to communicate to the people that would invest in their time, energy, ideas, and wanting to even collaborate. It's very important to never forget that. I know you have seen your shoes many, many times in your lifetime so far. Please stop focusing on your shoes and start making eye contact with the people that are out there. Go greet everybody. There is a joke in my family. Wherever Punch goes, he says, "My name is Punch, what is yours?" It doesn't matter whether it is a cab driver. It doesn't matter who it is. They have a wonderful story to tell you about their life, and I'm eager to listen to their story. It takes all of us. It takes all of us. Every story is important. Every story is valuable. I can tell you stories and stories and stories of my conversations with cab drivers, just as one example. Or custodians. All of them C's, by the way. I can tell you that. Unbelievably inspirational stories I have learned from them. So if you are wondering what to do, I'm still looking for a job, dial me and I will tell you a story. But with all these 9 C's, the most important C is at the end. The C of commitment. Commitment. I am committing myself to make a change, another C. I'm committing myself to have impact. I'm committing myself to be somebody. I'm committing myself to have an impact on people around me. I'm committing myself to this nation. I'm committing myself to global grand challenges. I'm committing myself to my community. I'm committing myself to my family. I'm committing myself to myself so that I might deliver the fullest potential that I have, the God-given potential that I have. If you have not realized your full potential, what are we here for in the first place? Commitment. Therefore, today, I am challenging you with the 10 C's. I am challenging you to the following commitment that I want every one of you to make today. Each one of you that is here today, that is receiving a doctoral degree, is a chosen one, the other C. Because you had the amazing family support. You had the community support. You had support from so many quarters, and that's why you are here today. And because, of course, your effort, you are here today. But for every one of you being doctoral candidates, for every one of you here today, there are hundreds and thousands of people who could not be here today because they did not have the support, they did not have the opportunities, but they are yet smart. They are yet capable. But they are not here today because they didn't have those opportunities that were afforded to you. So I want you to take a vow today that you are going to, each one of you, commit yourself to make sure that you have in your lifetime, I'm asking for a very simple thing, in your lifetime that you will bring 25 people at least who don't have the opportunities, who would not have had the opportunities. Every one of you should commit yourself to ensuring that at least 25 people, you are elevating them, you are bringing them, you are mentoring them, you are providing them the opportunities. And not just enjoy this degree and say, I am done. You are not done. You are just beginning, as I said. You are beginning to make that impact and committing to make sure that these 25 people at least have at least the same opportunities which they would not have had because you made the difference. Imagine if you do that. Imagine if all the 8,500, 700 graduates from UConn did that. Imagine the impact. And if every graduate from every university in the United States today, if they committed to doing that, imagine the impact that it would have. Our nation has so much talent all across every part of this nation, rural, urban, across the broad socioeconomic demographic, across the rich diversity of our nation. So much talent is there, but it is so hard to see that the talent has not got the opportunities. They don't have the motivation. They may not have the inspiration or be inspired by. They may not have had the STEM spark, but you can make that happen. And that's a commitment I want every one of you to make today, that you will endeavor, not just 25, a lot more because you're doctoral students. That's a commitment that you need to make, we all need to make. And that's your 10th C. Let's do your quiz, and then I will finish with I'll sneak 11th C on in the final one. So let's do the 10 C's. Come on over, let's start. Commencement. Curiosity. Creativity. Convergence. Collaboration. Courage. Can-do spirit. Communication. Change. Yes, I thought somebody would say, no, you made a mistake. I did it deliberately. This shows. Are you following? And commitment, folks. And the final C, the 11th C, congratulations, class of 2025. Thank you.